In this video, I'm going to cut to the chase. I've got clients that I see every single day in the office that I just cannot get them to exercise. Some people love the gym, they're there all the time. This video is not for you. This is for the people that'll be like, I know I should exercise and strengthen, but you know what? I'm just not going to go to the gym or exercise 2-3 times a week. Hey everyone, Ed DeBoo, physical therapist out of Integrative Physical Therapy in Bellingham, Washington. I'm going to boil it down to the bare necessity here. All right, I'm going to give you a couple key points, and then you can even do this program once a week. That's right, once a week. There are a couple basic things though that we have to remember. To make the weight training program as efficient as possible, first thing is it needs to be bilateral, which means we need to use both arms or both legs at once. Now we've all seen bicep curls and doing one at a time. That's great, but if I'm pressed for time, I want to do something bilateral. The second thing is it must be multi-joint, which means, for example, once again, if I'm doing a bicep curl, that's one joint. If I'm doing a bench press, that is multiple joints. So it has to be multiple joints, not just isolation. There has to be 4 sets per exercise. Now this is important because the literature shows that volume per week is more important than frequency. And what do I mean by that? At the very minimum, we need to do 4 sets per week of a particular muscle group. Repetitions are anywhere from 8 to 15 in order to gain some strength. Now you can do that all in one session. And that's the nice thing about it. This is what I tell clients. Look, 3 exercises, 1 day a week. You got to give me that. What I ask them to do then is 1 pushing exercise, 1 pulling exercise, and then some sort of leg press or squat. So what I'll do is I'll show you things that you can do at home without any equipment, or if you happen to be one that is already going to the gym, some simple things that you can do at the gym in order to just kind of go in, get it done, and get on with your day. At the end of the video, I will talk about where stretching and warm-up kind of fit into this weekly routine.
The first exercise is the pushing, and we're going to start off really easy. You can do this against the wall. Then you can progress yourself over to a countertop. Remember to keep your scapula in your back pocket, engage your core, and you'll just come in where you feel like it's appropriate for you. Once you get stronger, apparently Romeo's not very impressed with my push-ups, but you could progress to push-ups on the floor on your knees, and then you can go up onto your toes, and then to make it even more challenging, you just go ahead and lift up a leg. So easy, simple ways to make your pushing exercise more challenging. If you're at the gym, I like the dumbbell press as one example of doing that. It tends to be a little bit easier on your shoulders and wrists because you can change the angle with the dumbbell. But same kind of concept there, feet flat, back not arching, 3 sets, 8 to 15 repetitions.
For the pulling part of the program, you're going to need some sort of elastic band if you were at home. What I recommend is going online and getting a series of different colors with different strengths. And just like the name implies, so here I'm just going to put this around a banister. What I'm purposely doing is just trying to find common things around the house to kind of eliminate excuses for people. Same rules apply. I'm going to go scapula in my back pocket. I'm going to engage my core, and I'm going to pull back. Remember, time under tension is important, so slower the better.
You can change the angle so you can pull at multiple different planes. Now, if you're in the gym, a classic exercise is just a pull-up. And if you can do some pull-ups on your own, that's great. If not, you can always use one of the machines that they have. But basically what we're doing is a higher level back pulling exercise. Remember, scapula in the back pocket.
The third exercise is a squat. Now, once again, we'll start easy and we'll make it a little bit harder, okay? You can sit on the edge of a chair, sit up nice and tall, nose over toes, come forward, and you're up. And then slowly come back down. Nice and easy. The next progression would be, without using a chair, you're going to squat down to about 90 degrees and come back up again. 90 degrees and come back up.
Obviously, the nice thing about doing squats in the gym is that you have access to more equipment. This is just an example of a standing overhead squat. You can always use a leg press machine if you'd like, or you could put a bar across your back, or you could grab onto a dumbbell, or you can easily make this a little bit more challenging. But I love the squat because it's such a functional exercise.
So there you go, guys. It's a pretty simple program. One push, one pull, and one leg press or squat type of activity. Now, to save time, once again, you don't really need to do much flexibility or stretching. I know, you heard it, physical therapist said you don't need to really do that. Unless you're working on a really specific goal, if your only goal is to strengthen, you don't necessarily need to work on a lot of flexibility. Now, also to save time, what about the warm-up, Ed? Ideally, we've warmed up a little bit with, we're not just crawling right out of bed and doing these exercises. But what you can do is you can just do the same movement, but just with lighter resistance. So for example, let's say for my pushes, I'm gonna do some push-ups. Well, then what I might do, like the example I showed you earlier, is go onto the counter and do maybe about 10 of these to warm up. Or I might grab the band with some really light resistance and do some warm-ups with my pulling. But it's a movement-specific warm-up is really kind of all you need. The last thing I will tell you is the intensity has to be high enough. If I'm having a conversation and if I could do 25, 30 reps, that's just not gonna get it done because the signaling has to be strong enough so that whatever it is that I'm doing, those last few reps are a challenge. Remember, anywhere from that 8 to 15 kind of rep range is where we need to be, but it really does need to be a challenge towards the end. All right, guys, I just took away any excuse that you might have for not strength training. Once a week, 3 exercises, 4 sets, high intensity. All right, guys, if you have any questions, leave them down below, and thank you for watching.